Joining me is Sky News Political Editor Andrew Clennell. Andrew Clennell, thank you so much for joining me. Andrew, I said it'd be a stitch up, but how did you see it for real today?
Well, I think very much the case. The government hasn't taken any chances here, Andrew. They've worked for weeks, it seems to me, to come up with some things they want to announce out of the summit. The IR's the main, what you could call a stitch up. And they've given something to the unions and something to business. But the thing to business, or the thing for business, is still needs to be worked out in terms of the details. So that's kind of interesting. They're saying they will allow multi-employer bargaining, and but they're also saying they'll reform the Better Off Overall test, but not really saying how. And they've got business groups to agree with unions on this ahead of the summit. So there's that. They've announced more fee-free TAFE places. They worked that out with the states beforehand. And it's quite clear that in the budget, we're going to see a bigger migration intake. That's what we've seen out of this. I guess the debate that commentators like you will have is, did we need a summit for all that?
Well, clearly not. I mean, Albanese calls a skills summit, a jobs and skills summit, and starts off by saying, before anyone's opened their mouth, oh, by the way, I'm going to drop $1.1 billion on a TAFE scheme. So there, job done. I mean, where was the debate? I mean, I didn't see the crowd there suggesting anything that is then taken up as a new idea from the summit. It seems all prearranged on the IR front. What did you see coming out that was fresh and good?
No, I think you've got a point. And look, you were around the Hawke Economic Summit, Hawke Tax Summit, well, Keating Tax Summit as well, really. I'm sure that was a lot different. The impression I have from reporting at the time, the early 80s, is people were coming with fresh ideas and going away in rooms and working things out. The government it doesn't appear to be doing that at all here.
No, and, I found it amazing that the IR part of it is all done and dusted, like by about lunchtime on day one of a 2-day summit. What are they going to talk about for the rest? And as you say, I think the immigration intake, which is the sugar hit, a Ponzi scheme, cheap way of doing stuff, just bringing more immigrants, that was predictable weeks out. That's still to come, isn't it?
It is, and you might not see it till the budget, but they'll come to some sort of broad agreement on migration tomorrow. Today it was the time to make that skills announcement and to do the IR thing. So it'll be interesting to see if Anthony Albanese nominates a figure. All the states want more migration. You call it the sugar hit, that's right. They've got business crying out to them, we don't have enough workers. So that's the obvious way. But really, you could have just sorted that out after you were elected. You don't have to wait for a skills summit or a budget to get moving on that one.
Correct. And some of the ideas, that's true, some of the good ideas I did hear being talked about today, Andrew. That one about relaxing rules for pensioners so they go back to work without losing a whole hunk of their pension. That was floated by Gina Rinehart last year. I was recommending it last year. Seniors Australia was talking about it last year. That's just a minister saying, yep, good idea, I'll do that. You don't need the summit. And I'm just wondering what is coming out of it, apart from the yammer about now looking through things through a gender lens that I was listening to today. Or tomorrow it'll be all, global warming. I'm just wondering, what are we hearing that actually you thought only a summit could have produced that?
Yeah, I guess we've got to wait until the end, but I get the same impression. But I guess they would argue the summit's in effect been going for weeks. Businesses and unions have been talking and come up with arrangements. So that would be the argument from the government. That they've got a test coming up in the upcoming budget. Let's see what they come up with, and let's see if any of the measures they're announcing here, without, as you say, anyone going into a room and sorting it out during the summit, will actually make a difference to the bad skill shortages we have in this country, which have been caused by the borders being closed for a couple of years.
Well, Andrew, you've still got one day of reporting from this summit to go. Good luck to you. I look forward with interest to your reports. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Andrew.